the tokens, they are easy to carry and not so valuable, and people can change them very conveniently.
Yes, very good. So they're like a symbol of money, right?
Yes.
Yeah, easy to carry. Good. So then how are board game pieces similar to those ancient tokens?
They both use some little pieces to stand for something.
Yeah, very good. And then in China, they didn't use tokens, they used
Shells.
yeah. So why did they use shells?
They are durable and easy cleaned and count and definitely imitation or counterfeiting.
Yeah, so that part means they're difficult to
Copy.
copy. Yeah. And so then after the tokens, gold started to become popular, right?
Yes.
So gold is a commodity money. That means,
Their value was fixed by the metal in them.
yeah, so like how much gold is inside something, that's how valuable it is, right?
Yes.
Yeah, can you think of any more commodity monies?
The silver.
Silver, yeah, maybe,
Oil.
yeah. And then later there were notes and bills. That means,
Like paper money.
paper money, yeah. So then, how did paper money come about? People got some receipts.
Yes.
And if you had a receipt, that meant you owned some.
Gold or silver.
Yeah. But then the bankers, they realized that people didn't want to,
Really use the gold or silver. They prefer to use the notes.
yeah, because it was,
It was convenient.
yeah, that's it. So then the bankers, they didn't need to have enough,
Gold.
yeah, to cover the,
Cover the notes they issued.
yeah, so they didn't need to have all that gold. They could just give people the paper, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So then this was the beginning of,
Fed money.
yeah,
Fiat money is based on people trust in a nation. If a nation economy is good, its services will be valuable. Therefore, if the nation's economy is not good, its currency will be valueless.
yeah, it would be less valuable, right?
Oh yes.
Yeah, good. And then now we have virtual money. So the first kind of virtual money, virtual means something is not.
It's not real.
So the first kind was
The credit cards.
yeah. So how do credit cards work? So let's say today I spend $100 and I use a credit card, right?
Yes.
So do I need to pay the money now to the bank,
No.
or I can pay later, right?
Yes.
And then later maybe I pay the bank.
$101.
Yeah, so why do banks like people to use credit cards?
Because they can get the money.
Get that extra money later, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. So they make a profit from it, right?
Yes.
And now we also have the latest virtual money is called
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin. Yeah. Do you have any idea how that works? So then if something is valuable, it must be,
Rare.
rare means there's not so
Many.
many. So then if something is virtual, how can it be virtual and also be rare?
Bitcoin's 21 million limit is built into its code using math and rules that control how new Bitcoins are created. Firm transactions between two users. Add transactions to the Bitcoin historical record, called the blockchain. Earn some Bitcoins as a reward for doing work.
Okay, so then you're in the store and you want to buy something in a store, right?
Yes.
So let's say you use credit card. So then the store will communicate with the credit card company, right?
Yes.
And the credit card company will talk to the
Bank.
bank. So the credit card company is a
Middleman.
middleman. Yeah, that's it. And then the technology will communicate and you can buy something with your credit card, right?
Yes.
That's called the
Transaction.
yeah. So the technology is the credit card company's technology, and then they get a little bit of money because you use the credit card, right?
Yes.
Okay. So then in Bitcoin, to do a transaction, there needs to be some people called miners.
Miners.
The miners verify the transactions.
Okay.
They do that using, they need to solve like a puzzle, solve a problem, right?
Yes.
Yep. So when they do that, you can buy something with your Bitcoin and the miner gets a
Reward.
reward. So they get some Bitcoins and you get the thing you want to buy in the store, right?
Yes.
But the reward gets smaller over time. Every time there's a new transaction, the reward for the miner gets
Less.
less. So then, in the beginning, let's read here. Yeah, so 2008 was the beginning of Bitcoin, and the reward for the miner was
50
50
Bitcoins.
Bitcoins. So then 50 Bitcoins in 2008, they weren't very valuable, right?
Yes.
Yeah, about five US dollars.
Yeah.
But if somebody kept those Bitcoins for 17 years, 2008 to now 17 years, right?
Yes.
Those same 50 Bitcoins are worth a lot of money, right?
Yes.
So Bitcoin has become a lot more
Valuable.
valuable. So the people at the beginning, they got a lot of Bitcoins. 4 years later, only
Only 25.
5. So that's just a half, right?
Yes.
25 is half of 50. Then 4 years later, the same reward only.
20.5.
Yeah, and 4 years
12.
later, it's only half again, and so on, right?
Yes. Yes.
So then that is something that can make a limit, right?
Yes.
Because every 4 years, they get just half the same amount, right?
Yes.
So eventually, there will be the reward will be very small, right?
Yes.
Okay, so then that creates the Bitcoin is rare, right?
Yes.
Something, if it's valuable, must be also rare. Okay, so then every time there's a transaction to buy something, many miners they
Yes.
try to
Uh, verify.
yeah, so they need to like answer a question, solve a puzzle, and then they get the reward, right?
Yes.
But only one person, only one miner gets the
Reward.
reward. So it's kind of like a
Race.
race or a competition. The first person to verify is the winner, and he or she gets the
Reward.
reward. So miners, that's how they get money. Understand?
Yes.
So the miners help the transactions, right?
Yes.
And then the Bitcoins go from your phone to the shop's phone, right?
Yes.
And some new Bitcoins go into the
Miners.
miner's phone. So the Bitcoins move and a little bit, some more Bitcoins are made, right?
Yes.
Yep. And then the transaction is between you and the store owner, right?
Yes.
Then the transaction is added to the
A historical record.
and that's called the
Blockchain.
blockchain. Understand?
Yes, no more new bitcoins will be made. This rule is written in Bitcoin's code, and no one can change it unless everyone in the Bitcoin network agrees, which is very unlikely. This is why Bitcoin is scarce and valuable, like digital gold.
Yeah, so scarce is another word for
Rare.
rare. Good. So the code, that's like the rules, right?
Yes.
So it has rules and it must follow the rules, right? The code.
Yeah.
Cool. So then Bitcoin is different to paper money, right?
Yes.
So what are some of the differences?
Not controlled by governments, and I think countries can make the money if they want, but you can't make bitcoins if you want.
Yes, very good. So here in the picture, we see some Bitcoins, but are they real coins?
Nope.
No, because Bitcoin is
It's virtual.
yeah, something is virtual is not
It's not real.
real. We see
Uh, Mining.
yeah. So these two guys are miners, right?
Yes.
So to do mining, do you think it's easy to do it? Could you do it on your computer or an iPad?
Nope, I think.
No, to do it, you need to have a huge amount of computers, very strong computers.
Okay.
And the miners, they need to check it and they need to solve like a puzzle, right?
Yes.
The puzzle that they need to solve gets a little bit more difficult each time.
Okay.
So when you do your transaction, the puzzle is this difficult. And then the next transaction is a bit more difficult, and on and on. So then the reward gets smaller, right?
Yes.
But the puzzle difficulty goes,
Value is up.
yeah, the difficulty to do the work for the miners gets more difficult, but the reward is
It's uh less.
less. That's it. So now we're 2025 and miners need to have a lot. It's so difficult to do the transactions. A lot of computers are needed.
Yes.
So not everybody can be a miner because it's expensive to buy these things, right?
Yes.
So that makes Bitcoin rare and it's difficult to make new Bitcoins, right?
Yes. Exist in any physical form, yet it's increasingly used by people worldwide. Is virtual currency the money of the future?
Physical.
Physical.
If it's physical, that means we can
Hold it.
hold it. Yeah. So what is a virtual currency? Actually, this part is we don't need to read it. So we just need to know that it's not
It's not issued by a central bank and and not attached to a fiat currency.
yeah. So can you explain what is fiat currency again?
That means some countries' money, real money.
Yeah.
In online articles or in newspapers or magazines, you may have seen pictures of gold or silver coins marked with the Bitcoin symbol. However, since Bitcoin exists only a digital constructs, these are merely representations. Bitcoin is a type of digital money known as a cryptocurrency. That is it.
Cryptocurrency.
a cryptocurrency. That is its cryptocurrency, a secret coding to verify ownership of the money. The money can be sent in electronically from one user to another anywhere in the world. Unlike traditional currencies, Bitcoin is not controlled by a certain bank or by a government entity. And unlike credit cards, the Bitcoin network is not run by a company. There is no middleman between the parties and that are transferring money. It is operated by a global network of computers called a blockchain network, which records every Bitcoin transaction in the world.
Okay, so yeah, it's not run by a
Company.
like WeChat Pay is run by WeChat, right?
Yes.
And Visa is a credit card is a company, right?
Yes.
So then if it's a company, they'll want to get a little bit of
Money.
And yeah, it's not controlled by a
certain bank or government.
yeah, read this one again.
Central.
Central. So the central bank in your country is that one, I think, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's kind of in charge of making new RMB, right?
Yes.
In control of Chinese money. And then there's one of those in every country, right?
Yes.
So there's no company, there's no government control there, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then the blockchain network that has the
Record
of all the
transaction.
transactions. So there's no middleman. What is an example of a middleman that we saw earlier?
Like the company of the credit cards.
Yeah, so if there's a middleman, the middleman always wants a little
bit money.
to do some help to help you a little bit, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's clever how it works, right?
Yes.
Yeah, there's nothing to control it from any outside company or government. It's all just in the computer code, right?
Yes.
Any questions there?
Nope.
Okay, so how did it begin? Let's do some phonics here first. So you know this word.
Yes.
So when it's PSY, we don't say the
P.
and it's the same here.
Pseudonym.
Yeah, pseudonym.
Pseudonym.
So read here now.
A pseudonym is a name that someone uses in place of their real name.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So the pseudonym was Satoshi Nakamoto.
Moto.
So supposedly, it's like maybe this person made
The first Bitcoin.
but it was actually a
Pseudonym.
so we don't really know who
he is.
or we don't know who made
or who made the Bitcoin.
Bitcoin. Yeah, maybe it was a man, maybe a woman, maybe a group. We don't know.
Yes.
It's mysterious, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that was back in
2008.
2008. Yeah. Okay, keep going now.
Bitcoin was not the first attempt at a
Cryptocurrency.
Cryptocurrency. Others had existed in one form or another for nearly 50 years, but without much success. In a short space of time, though, Bitcoin became the first cryptocurrency to be widely traded internationally. The first Bitcoin were mined in January 2009. Within 200 days, 1 million coins had been mined. By 2019, this had risen to over 70 million bitcoins, worth a total of US
There are 65 billion,
$65 billion
yeah,
and
US dollars. Yeah.
US dollars, and more than 200,000 new transactions were taking place every day.
Yep. So the main idea here is
It's a rise of the Bitcoin very fast.
yes, that's it. Currency. So yeah, cryptocurrencies, virtual currencies were actually around for a long time, right?
Yes.
But they didn't have much success. So why do you think Bitcoin was successful?
Maybe because it's not controlled by everyone, only by the computer code.
Yeah, maybe. Good. And the timing was interesting too, 2008.
Yes.
So if you go and check on the internet, 2008 financial crisis. Crisis means something bad.
Yes.
So there was a financial crisis. Crisis means very bad.
Oh.
And it was in 2008. So the economy of the world was bad at that time.
Okay.
So people didn't trust different economies. It was worldwide in almost every country.
Okay.
And then along came Bitcoin at the same time. So maybe the timing, people were maybe more open to some new idea for money.
Yes.
So if you have an idea, you must have it at the right time, right?
Yes.
If it's too soon, maybe people are not ready.
Yes.
So yeah, if you're interested in finance, you can read about 2008 financial crisis.
Okay.
Okay, keep going now.
In its early years, Bitcoin was known for its link with illegal drugs, such as those bought and sold on Silk Road, and online black market set up in 2011. Silk Road connected customers and sellers on the internet using a network that compute a user's location and
Identity.
identity, and it used Bitcoin for payments. Silk Road was shut down by the FBI in 2013. According to some experts, the shutdown gave Bitcoin a chance to gain some much-needed legitimacy. BitPay CEO uh,
Stephen Pear, yeah.
Stephen Pear insisted that Silk Road Association would not photo to Bitcoin. He says the shutdown shows that just because you use Bitcoin doesn't mean you can evade law enforcement.
Okay, very good. Just try this one. Is it concealed or concealed?
Concealed.
Yeah, CE like SE, right?
Yes.
Good. And then identity.
Identity.
Yeah, do you have an ID card?
Yes.
So the ID comes from?
Identity.
Then people can know who you are, right?
Yeah.
So then in the beginning, Bitcoin was used to buy things that were illegal. That means they were not
No, not real.
It's kind of not. So in this paragraph, you see law.
Oh, the law did not allow you to do that.
And not allowed. Yeah, that's it. So you go to a market to buy things.
Yes.
Yeah. If it's a black market, the things are
Are illegal.
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 Illegal. Okay, so in the beginning, yeah, there was a site called Silk Road. So China was in the past was famous for the Silk Road, right?
Yes.
The road from China all the way to
Europe.
Europe. So on that road, people bought and sold many things, right?
Yes.
And it was very long. You could buy and sell almost anything on the road.
Yes.
So then this website called Silk Road, you could buy and sell almost anything, even
Illegal things.
legal things. Yeah, it's a black market. And then people were using Bitcoin to pay for things because remember, Bitcoin is not connected to governments or companies, right?
Yes.
So then when it's like that, in the past, it was easier for people to use it for bad things, right?
Yes.
And then Silk Road shut down by the FBI. The FBI are like higher than the police in America.
Okay.
The police work in cities. The FBI can work anywhere in the country.
Okay.
And so that was bad. This paragraph is about it was difficult, bad in the beginning for Bitcoin.
Yes.
Okay. So then I guess the value of Bitcoin probably went
Down.
down. Okay, so we already kind of looked at how Bitcoin works. Can you remember? Can you explain it again?
When two users do some transactions, they can the miners can verify it and get some reward, and the new bitcoins are made in this way. And as the transactions are finished, the transactions will be added to the blockchain.
To the
Blockchain.
blockchain, cool. Yeah, and then the reward every 4 years, the reward gets
F.
halved. So then the miners, they need to do some computer work to verify the trends.
The transaction.
Yeah. So over time, the reward gets less and less.
Yes.
But the difficulty of the computer work gets
Open up.
up and up. So eventually, there are fewer and fewer new Bitcoins, and to make them takes more and more
Time.
time and work and money for the people, the miners, right?
Yes.
Because remember, to do this computer work, you need to buy a huge amount of computers, right?
Yes.
And that's expensive, right? Yeah, good. Oh. Bum, bum, bum. Okay, so then here we don't need to read everything. The smallest Bitcoin is
Satoshi.
Satoshi. So then in dollars, the penny is kind of 0.0
1.
penny. But in Bitcoin, they call that the.
Satoshi.
Why do you think it's called that?
Is it from a Japanese?
Yeah, remember we saw back here the pseudonym.
Ah, Satoshi is the name of the
Person who
person who purpose who
supposedly.
supposedly to first read researched the coin.
Yeah, the first person to mention Bitcoin was this person, but it's a pseudonym, not a real
name.
name. So we still don't know who created them.
Yes.
This part, you understand that? Bum, bum, bum. And Bitcoin, the blockchain. Okay. Great. So what are the benefits? Benefits means,
Good things.
yeah, of using Bitcoin.
In most cases, financial transactions involve exchange fees, taxes, and payment deadlines to guard against a fraud. Virtual transactions, however, are speedy and cheap, and were settled immediately. And unlike a credit cards exchange, where credit numbers and the security information are handed over completely for many transactions, a Bitcoin transfer is authorized only to pay a specific amount.
Good. So if you guard, that means to
To
protect.
Okay.
Fraud. So something is fraud, do you think it's good or bad?
Bad.
Yeah, so when you use like a credit card, there will be some checks done by the credit card company to protect you, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So for example, if you always use your credit card in America, but one day the credit card is used in a country far away, right? So it looks a little bit different. The transaction looks different, right?
Yes.
So that might be fraud. Maybe somebody got you
a credit card number.
and now they're using your credit card, but they shouldn't do that.
Yes.
So that's like fraud, like a criminal, right?
Yes.
Fraud. So then the credit card company needs to do some checks and need to look at some information, and that takes some time, right?
Yes.
So that's a delay. It's slow, right?
Yes.
But Bitcoin is,
Speedy and cheap.
so why is it cheaper than using a credit card?
Because you don't need to pay for the company.
Yes, there's no company to check for fraud, right?
Yes.
So then if there's no company to protect you, how can it be safer? Because Bitcoin is only
As a loan.
to pay for a specific amount. So
Okay.
what are they talking about? So then in here, if we go back here, so then when you go to pay something in the store, if it's not credit card, imagine is Bitcoin. Then your phone has a Bitcoin number. That's your number, right?
Yes.
And the store Bitcoin phone has a Bitcoin number, right?
Yes.
And then you want to pay 2 Bitcoins for shoes in the store, right?
Yes.
So then the technology says only this number, your number, can communicate with the store number, and it must be for 2 Bitcoins.
Okay.
No other amount can be used. It must be only between this number and send only 2.
Okay.
If any other kind of transfer between different numbers happens, it will not be
allowed.
It's built again. It's built into the
Code.
code. That's it. So the code is very safe and clever, right?
Yes.
The code takes care of safety and also making new
Coins.
Yeah, that's it. So everything is into the code, and you don't need a company to do the work, right?
Yes.
And then exchange fees. Can you explain that?
That means you change the currency from a country to another.
Yeah, and then the credit card company or the bank will charge you a little bit of
Money.
the middleman, right?
Yes.
But because Bitcoin is international, there are no
exchange fees.
no exchange. That's it. Any questions?
Nope.
So cheaper and faster.
Yes.
And safe too. Bum, bum. Yeah, keep going. Some virtual currencies.
Virtual currencies also make it possible to make a digital payment without needing paper or credit card. This is particularly useful in many parts of Africa, Latin America, and South Asia. In immigrants immigrants to developed countries may find it a convenient way to send funds back home to their families.
Yeah. So PayPal is like in the Western countries, and in China you have these two, right?
Yes.
Same thing. So then they're talking about immigrants. And you remember what it means? So then let's say somebody from Africa goes to America or Canada or China or whatever to work. They go to live in a new
countries, and they are the immigrants.
Yeah, that's it. So now the immigrant from Africa, let's say, goes to America and gets some US dollars, right?
Yes.
Now they want to send it
back home to their families.
If they use a bank, the bank is the middleman. They'll need to pay them.
Pay the money.
And maybe they need to do some checks. Take some time, right?
Yes.
But with Bitcoin, it's there, 5 seconds, 10 seconds. It's already from America back to Africa.
Yes.
So that is useful then for the
immigrants.
That's it. Okay, this one is kind of the same idea. And now the drawbacks. Okay, so we learned about the benefits, the good things. Now we're going to see the
drawbacks,
the negative things.
The most obvious drawback is a lack of stability and the value of recency. Bitcoin's independence make it more stable in principle that traditional currencies.
So that kind of means in
theory.
Yeah, in idea, in principle.
Okay.
In reality, though, its value has fluctuated.
Fluctuated widely over the time it has been in existence.
So if we have two graphs, we see something like that. Or if we see this one, So which do you think Bitcoin looks like, the value of it?
The second one.
Yeah, because Bitcoin has a lack of
Uh, yes.
stability. Yeah, it has fluctuated. It has gone,
Up and down.
yeah, wildly, like very high and then very
Very down.
down, very low. Yeah, fluctuated. In 2012, the price of Bitcoin was about $12. By 2015, up to,
$500.
yeah, much higher, right?
Yes.
Just 3 years. 2 years later, went up to,
To 20,000 USD dollars.
but then it lost.
80% of that value within a year.
So that's very unstable, right?
Yes.
Okay, so then Bitcoin, people have money. What can they do with it? They can put the money into the bank, right?
Yes.
And then every month, every year, you get the bank will give you a little bit more, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But Bitcoin, maybe if you put your money in Bitcoin, next year you could have a lot more, right?
Yes.
Or you could
Get only a very few.
lose everything, right? Your money
Yes.
could be gone.
Yes.
So it's very risky.
Oh, yes.
Risky. So maybe your savings, when you save some money, maybe put a little bit in Bitcoin, right?
Oh, yes.
And then put some other money maybe into,
A gold market,
or maybe
a stock markets.
stock market. Yeah, so stock would be you have a piece of a little piece of a company.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes.
Yeah. And so Bitcoin is just a tiny bit of all the money in the world, right?
Yes.
We see that gold is a lot more, cash, but actually a lot of money is in
Stock markets.
stock market. Yeah. Because like if you buy a little piece of stock in Apple, like Apple make iPads, right?
Yes.
Apple is more stable, right?
Yes.
So it's less risky. Okay. So Sunshine, very good. We finished all the important ideas. So what would be a good idea for this unit is a challenging unit, right?
Yes.
What you can do is do some writing if you have time and write about the history of money from the shells and the pieces, gold, cash, up to Bitcoin.
Okay.
So that would be a good exercise for homework.
Okay.
Okay, very good. Do you have any questions about anything that we learned today?
Nope.
Okay, so will you go out now and buy some Bitcoins?
I'm not sure. Maybe not.
Maybe you use your Hongbao to get some Bitcoins.
Maybe.
Yeah, they are very expensive now, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so in the past they were cheap. People wish that they bought more in the past, right?
Yes.
But we cannot know if something will be more valuable or less valuable. It's risky, right?
Yes.
Yeah.